On tonight's CTV News, red-zoned property owners have been given more time to object to their rating valuations. Animal testing gets a reprieve in the legal highs debacle, and the council details its plans to bring the city's war memorials back to their former glory. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Flooded Christchurch residents are being invited to give feedback on proposals to resolve flooding issues while the clean-up continues.
Christchurch residents are being encouraged to give feedback following the heavy rainfall and flooding. More than 100 people attended a weekend focus session looking at how to improve the council's efforts in response to the recent flooding. Christchurch city contractors spent the weekend clearing debris from the Heathcote River and nearby waterways. The City Council has set up a task force to produce short-term solutions for the flood-affected residents. Mayor Leanne Dalzell asked the Council's recovery partners, including SERA, ECAN and EQC, to assist the task force. She says given the scale and complexity of the task, a cross-agency approach is needed. Clean-up crews are continuing to work around the city, and the task force will report short-term solutions back to councillors next Monday.
Christchurch red-zoned property owners now have an extra week to object to their rating valuations after the Human Rights Commissioner intervened in the process.
Concerns from the Human Rights Commissioner have influenced the Christchurch City Council over property valuation deadlines. The City Council's extended the date for residents to object to their new valuations following the Commissioner's interference. Human Rights Commissioner David Rutherford is concerned the valuation change is an additional stress for already strained red zone residents. The latest valuations show property prices have increased in nearly all suburbs, some by up to 43%. Unrepaired earthquake damage to properties was not taken into consideration when the valuations of the city's 165,000 properties took place. The new figures were instead based off property sales. But red zone property owners who've chosen to reject the government's voluntary offer received a shock in the mail when the valuations changed. Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell told the press the council understands how upsetting the new valuations are. She says given the points raised by the Human Rights Commission, the council is extending the date until a week from today. Meanwhile, Kaiapoi red zoners Brent and Shirley Carnes are rejecting their valuations. Their land was valued at $350,000 before the earthquakes, but under the latest valuation, it's only worth $25,000.
It's incredible that the Crown and Quotable Value have come up with this imaginary number which now declares that our land and our properties is only worth $25,000.
The family want this to be their last house. They aren't planning to sell anytime soon. They say with a valuation of just $25,000, no one would want to pay any more.
We paid a lot more than $25,000 to buy here or to live here. We've invested a huge amount of money into the community and also into building our studio, and we certainly don't believe it's worth $25,000, and subsequently that's why we objected to it.
The Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority has denied a recent story that the bus interchange precinct is being delayed.
The Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority are exploring other options for their bus precinct, putting the tendering process on hold for now, but SERA confirmed it won't delay the precinct's physical development. The bus interchange, which is included in the precinct, is due to be built by the middle of next year. The precinct is one of the Christchurch Central Development Unit's anchor projects and will be bounded by Chewham, Colombo, Litchfield and Sol Square.
The local woman who made a stand against where Telecom chose to build their cell phone stand has thanked political intervention for helping her protest.
In answer to a one-woman protest, this digging outside Brindwa shops was the cause of debate between Karen Crisp, the owner of a local pharmacy, and Telecom. Back in March, works began erecting a Telecom cell phone tower outside Crisp's pharmacy and in the middle of the community's footpath. With lack of consultation, Mrs. Crisp locked herself on site and inside her car.
But it is a place that is designed for our community, for our patients, for our customers, and our school children, when they walk along here. This is a really busy intersection, and this space is used, and that's what it was designed for.
But Mrs. Crisp believes it was political intervention that saved the day, not her one-woman stand. Ilam MP Jerry Brownlee turned up on site, making phone calls to Telecom to stop digging up the footpath and come to a compromise to shift the tower. For over a month, works on site were brought to a halt, but now the tower is being built around the corner from where it was originally planned and out of the way.
Animal testing won't take place with substances intended for legal highs.
The government is banning synthetic cannabis until it's tested and proven to be safe. Prime Minister John Key is approving tests to be performed on rats, but no other animals. But that decision creates challenges. Testing on rats alone would prove insufficient, meaning all animal testing will be banned, something the SPCA is thrilled about. But testing on rats is working overseas. Researchers from Victoria University have found cannabis, both natural and synthetic, jumbles teenage brains. A neurologist and PhD student from the university used adolescent rats learning a difficult maze with hidden chocolate treats to simulate the effects on the teenage human brain. The research found that rats exposed to cannabis were slower and didn't perform as well. An advocate for cannabis legalisation says countries that have changed their cannabis laws, including the Netherlands and USA, have seen a reduction in teenage use of the drugs. The ban will be included in legislation being introduced to New Zealand Parliament this week.
Throughout the year, CTV has been bringing you updates on the status of war memorials defaced with graffiti. Today we're able to bring you the Christchurch City Council's plans to clean them up and restore them back to their former glory.
Efforts are being made to clean up and restore Christchurch's local war memorials. Plastered across the city's monuments is unwanted, colourful designs by vandalists. And techniques used to get rid of the paint are struggling to remove it.
You can see where we've had graffiti down here below where there's an effort being made to take it off. And you can see that the way it's leached out, but that's in there, it's in the material, the tone of the stone, and that's going to be there forever in my view. It's going to be so damn difficult to get rid of it. And so it means that this war memorial, you know, and we're looking at Flanders and Palestine, areas where New Zealanders gave their lives, and this is how we respect it.
The Christchurch City Council's graffiti team has been working on cleaning up the memorials, but as they're made of soft stone, it makes the process difficult.
Most of the time we utilise a polish made out of wood pulp or fine clay with chemical in, and we leave that on for 2 or 3 days, a bit like a face mask, and that basically draws the paint out of the stone.
Once the mask is applied, it's then left to the UV rays of the sun to help the paint fade. In severe cases, taking between 6 to 12 months to complete. The graffiti team have been trialling different methods to remove the vandalism, but working with the heritage monument means precision needs to be taken, and they've only got one shot at getting it right.
It is difficult to get it completely out, and we've got to balance the preservation of the stone with removing the graffiti.
In the meantime, when Canterbury honoured its returned servicemen and women, along with those who lost their lives on Anzac Day this year, camouflage sheets were used on the memorial to cover the vandalism.
If there's graffiti, we prefer to put it out of sight, so we put up a screen to camouflage it. This
year is the centenary of the First World War, where 100,000 men and women from New Zealand served overseas. In August, the commemorations begin, and the Christchurch City Council promises to have all of the city's memorials back to previous condition.
Graffiti gone, and also the 13 of the 24 memorials that were damaged in the earthquake we want back up and running, repaired, ready to go.
But now the question for them is how to prevent the vandalists from ruining the monuments again.
But to do it on a war memorial, to me, is the pits, is the bottom of it, you know, and quite frankly, I'd like to see them strung up, but or at least have to do some sort of community restoration. But the problem is finding them.
The days of seeing the memorials covered in spray paint are numbered, heading into the war's centenary later this year. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
The Christchurch RSA is struggling to raise funds to complete the work on its new headquarters.
The Christchurch RSA is building new 2-storey headquarters to the tune of $6.4 million. But the club is struggling to raise the final $1 million needed to complete the project. They have 6 months to raise the money or risk having to get a mortgage and go into debt. The building will include a bar and restaurant, function room and offices. The RSA is also considering an interactive museum. RSA Club President Peter Dawson says the aim is to create a welcoming place for the public as well as veterans. Most of the money for the project has come from insurance payouts and land asset sales. Though a grant from the Canterbury Community Trust has been applied for, the chances of receiving it are not looking good. Donations are being sought from supporters to make up the shortfall. The names of the supporters who give more than $500 will feature on a wall of the new building. Construction on the Armagh site began the day before Anzac Day. The new RSA headquarters is scheduled to open in February next year.
And still to come, an important new discovery could help cure people of their addictions.
Join us tonight at 6 for DW World News. Informative, lively, international news, breaking stories and global developments. DW News, weekdays at 6 p.m, right here on CTV.
Are you looking for more from your local channel? CTV are online. Our latest listings, on-demand shows, program information, all on the CTV website. We'll see you there.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measure and quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom, 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Come dine with Country Catering at the Kaipoi Golf Club Cafe. Enjoy our range of delicious $10 lunches, daily specials and other homemade goodies. Open to the public 7 days inside the Kaipoi Golf Club, north end of William Street, Kaipoi. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Blue Star Taxis has been servicing the Canterbury region for over 80 years. Canterbury owned and operated with a passion for providing safe, reliable public transport in Christchurch to Cantabrians and visitors to our city. Home safe every time with Blue Star Taxis.
Tomorrow Today is your science program, presenting a comprehensive overview of the latest trends in science and research. Tomorrow Today, Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m, right here on CTV.
A new style of breakfast cookie has been unveiled. Dozens of children launched the cookie with a pyjama party.
It's one of the most important meals of the day, especially for young children.
It's a good start to the day, it gets your brain moving.
But once the creators of Cookie Time heard people were skipping it, they developed a breakfast cookie. And what better way to celebrate than holding a pyjama party with the Cookie Monster himself and the bananas in pyjamas. The new cookie is a new way of eating breakfast, with cereal, fruit and milk all mixed into one.
Yeah, they're very cool. I love how you can toast them yourself too. It's very cool.
Cookie Time began 30 years ago as a dream of a 21-year-old. The popularity of selling unwrapped cookies from a jar at local dairies just took off.
For about the first couple of years, I used to be worried that maybe it was a fad and that people were going to stop buying the cookies. But after a couple of years, I realised, no, that's just not going to happen.
Mr. Mao didn't believe that Kiwi's love affair with the chocolate chip treat would lead to where it is today.
I put the words Anytime at the top of this poster. And I had no idea that Anytime was going to include breakfast. But here we are 30 years later, and it really is. Anytime is cookie time.
For these children, the cookie has been a good kickstart to their day. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
An important discovery at the University of Canterbury could help addiction sufferers worldwide.
A researcher at the University of Canterbury has discovered a way to eliminate cravings for cocaine.
Cocaine and methamphetamine are two highly addictive substances. They increase dopamine in the brain, and this is what causes them to be so addictive.
The finding has been published in a leading American psychiatry publication. Cocaine addiction is at epidemic levels in the United States and some European countries. but treatments remain ineffective. Dr Canales has found activating a receptor in the brain with chemical compounds will stop the cocaine from releasing dopamine. This reduces relapse, so would help addicts to withdraw from the drug permanently.
Relapse is the most important aspect to treating addiction. It's a very insidious and very difficult symptom to treat, and therefore any treatments that may mitigate this problem are important for us.
The results of the experiments indicate that the compounds work on methamphetamine in the same way. And New Zealand has one of the highest rates of methamphetamine use in the world. According to a 2010 Cabinet report, in 2009 the figure was 2% of the population. Another report found more than 10% of people arrested by police tested positive for methamphetamine. The encouraging results come from experiments on rats.
There is almost every chance that these compounds will work also in humans. We do express the same type of receptors in our brain. They are located in the same place. We have very similar biological systems, and we respond to the same stimuli, including drugs of abuse, in very similar ways.
At the moment, Dr Canales and his partners are testing the safety and toxicology of the compounds. He says clinical trials on humans will run in Switzerland within the near future.
Obviously, in humans in the future, if these compounds go forward as potential medications, they will be administered orally like a tablet or something like that.
Because the release of dopamine is common to all addictions, Dr Canales hopes the treatment could also apply to nicotine, alcohol and other types of addiction.
There is almost every possibility that we can treat other forms of addiction through activation of this receptor, and we're even hopeful that this may be even applied for food addiction.
It has the potential to help millions of people suffering from addictions and save millions of dollars in healthcare costs.
Still to come with the sport, traffic and weather updates.
Take a multi-dimensional look at the unique facets of European culture, fashion, film, music, art and everything in between. Euromax, every weekday at 8 a.m, right here on CTV.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company.
Oi! Yuck, look at all this moss and lichen. I'm not getting up there, not in these heels. Time to call Mossbuster.
Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. You can buy Mossbuster online for less than half the cost of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest, or Mossbuster can do it for you. Check out our website or call the Mossbuster crew for a free quote. Mossbuster, 0800 88 1000.
Flash news set, isn't it? Red and Black Sport gets a new title as well, but we'll still be talking every week to the movers and shakers in sport. Red and Black Sport, Monday night, 7:30 here on CTV.
It's time to catch up on all the sporting action with Gordon Findlater.
The Crusaders' emphatic win over the Brumbies on Saturday may have come at a cost, with two players expected to be out of action for a month. Both Matt Todd and Kieran Fonotia fell victim to injury in Saturday's 40-20 victory and are expected to be out of action for around a month, while Tom Taylor, who also left the game early, could be fit for this weekend's match against the Reds. Richie McCaw put in a man-of-the-match performance as he returned from injury, as the All Blacks captain, who started at blindside flanker, quickly found himself in a more familiar role after the departure of Matt Todd. The Crusaders, who managed 3 tries on the night, were assisted by the boot of Colin Slade, who managed a 23-point haul. Also of note was the performance of Nemani Nadolo, who looked at home after being forced to switch to the unfamiliar role of centre due to injuries. The win puts the Crusaders in 6th spot on the table and 2nd in the New Zealand Conference, 4 points behind the Chiefs, who have played an extra match. The Canterbury Rams didn't have any luck in their 2 games over the weekend after going down 89-91 after a controversial final minute of play against the Hawke's Bay Hawks on Friday night, while on Saturday the Rams suffered defeat again when they lost 101-108 against the Manawatu Jets. Having more success on the court over the weekend was Canterbury's women's basketball team, the Wildcats, who won 2 of their 3 matches in the opening round of the competition. It was an exhilarating weekend of action for the Hawkins Cup, with Round 5's headliner between New Brighton and Lincoln University living up to the hype. Lincoln looked to be in control, leading 24-3 at halftime, before a spirited New Brighton side scored 24 unanswered points in the second half to grab the victory 27 points to 24. Burnside are just 1 point behind New Brighton and Lincoln after they remained undefeated when they knocked over Shirley 67-26, while High School Old Boys are in 4th after they defeated Christchurch 38-23. Other results saw Linwood defeat University 44-15, Sydenham had the win over Marist 22-15, while Sumner had the win over Belfast, winning 64-5. The opening round of schoolboy rugby got underway over the weekend with the opening round of the Press Cup. CTV's feature match saw Waimea College get the win over St Thomas's 26 points to 18, while Burnside High, Timaru Boys, St Bede's, Nelson College, St Andrews and Marlborough Boys were also round 1 victors. And finally tonight, a quick update on the Mainland Tactics, who are still destined for this season's wooden spoon after they went down 69-52 to the Queensland Firebirds in the latest round of the Trans-Tasman Netball League. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Finlater for CTV Sport.
The Battle of the Rebuild contenders raised more than $250,000 for the Aranui and Linwood College Breakfast Club, the Champions Centre and the Canterbury Youth Development Program Trust. Well, if you're driving around the central city, CTV's traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, to help you plan your journey around the central city, here's another update on what's happening with the roads this week. The return to work and school for many will see increased traffic volumes and a return to some congestion and delays for road users around the central city. From Monday, you should expect longer journey times. Where possible, consider alternative travel times and different routes. Hotspots to watch out for this coming week: a southbound route through Barbados and Durham Streets. We strongly advise to use Fitzgerald Avenue to go south through the city. Colombo Street is a great way to access the northern side of the city, and if you're coming westbound down Bailey Avenue, turn into Manchester Street to access the CBD. To keep up to date on what's happening with the Central City roads, keep watching CTV News first at 5, and as always, visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
Now remember, you can choose our weather music. All you have to do, if you have a suggestion, is send it to us by email or visit our Facebook page. Tonight's music is from the album Beach Life. So finally, here we are with your regional weather.
Kia ora everyone, let's take a look at today's temperatures. Down in South Canterbury, Timaru, you had 19 degrees today, Temuka and Geraldine on 19 degrees. Ashburton, a warm 19 degrees for your Monday, Methven had 19 degrees, Rakaia 19 degrees for you, Dartfield had 19 degrees today also, Leeston and Rolleston had 20 degrees, Lincoln also on 20 degrees today, and Christchurch a warm day for you with 21 degrees. Akaroa also on 21 degrees for your Monday, and north of the Waimak, Kaipui, Rangiora and Amelie all receiving 20 degrees today. Looking inland, Culverden and Hannah Springs both on 20 degrees and 20 for Cheviot as well. And further up along the east coast, Kaikoura received 19 degrees today. Let's take a look at the weather in your area. Timaru, fine with sunny periods and high cloud and fresh mild northwesterly winds. Tonight's low 11 degrees, tomorrow's high 19. Ashburton, another fine and mild day in store with some high cloud and northerly winds expected. Tonight's low 11 degrees, tomorrow's high 18 degrees. Christchurch, fine and mild with northerly breezes for your Tuesday are expected as well, with an overnight low of 11 degrees and tomorrow's high 18 degrees. Kaikoura, mostly fine and sunny with scattered high cloud at times. Northerly winds are expected. Tonight's overnight low 11 degrees, tomorrow's high a warm 18 degrees. The weather is looking fine in other areas too tomorrow, so let's take a look at the temperatures. Temuka and Geraldine can expect 18 degrees, Methven 17 and 18 in Rakaia. Darfield, you can expect 17 degrees tomorrow, and Leeston 18 degrees for you. Rolleston and Lincoln 18 degrees for you as well, and Akaroa, you can expect 18 degrees for your Tuesday. And out in North Canterbury, Kaipoi and Rangiora a warmer 18 degrees tomorrow. Amberley also have 18 expected there, and Culverden, Handler Springs and Cheviot also have a fine day ahead with 17 degrees. Looking ahead for Canterbury, fine and mild at first on Wednesday with sunny periods, high cloud and moderate northerly quarter winds. Cooler southwesterlies developing during the afternoon with some cloud and maybe a few scattered showers. High cloud and light winds at first on Thursday. A cold southwesterly change later in the day with showers developing from evening. Rain developing at night. Cloudy and cold on Friday with rain easing to showers and showers clearing late in the day. Southwesterly winds becoming fresh and gusty, then decreasing. Snow expected down to 700 metres. Mostly fine and sunny next weekend, but rather cold with light westerly or southwesterly winds. Frost is possible in the evenings. And that's your weather update for Monday. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And that is CTV News for Monday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.